All right, let's dive right into this explainer and tackle that incredibly universal feeling. You know the one, having massive ambition, but absolutely zero time to actually chase it. I mean, you've got these big ideas, right? Maybe you're dreaming of starting a business, finally writing that book, or launching a huge passion project. But then life happens. Our days get completely jammed up with commutes, endless errands, social stuff, and let's be honest, endless doom scrolling. By the time we actually get a spare second to ourselves, we're just totally wiped out. Well, we are going to fix that today.
So we really need to sit down and ask ourselves a pretty tough question here. Why is it that CEOs, Olympic athletes, world leaders, why can they consistently crush their goals, while the rest of us are just way too exhausted after a standard Tuesday to do anything meaningful? Like, what's their secret? What on earth are they doing so differently with their day that lets them, start side hustles, stay incredibly fit, and still actually see their families?
Section 1. The time illusion. It's not about having more time.
Okay, to figure this whole thing out, we actually have to start by completely shattering a core limiting belief. And that is, time isn't actually your problem. It's exactly how you're using it. Let's just level the playing field right now. Every single one of us has the exact same 24 hours in a day. You have 24 hours and, well, so does LeBron James. Now, think about LeBron for a second. The guy trains for 4 to 6 hours every single day, he runs a massive business empire, and he still famously sleeps 12 hours a night. Yeah, you heard that right, literally 12 hours. He actually calls sleep his secret weapon. So the difference between you and him? It's not some magical surplus of extra hours in the day. It's clarity, structure, and energy.
Section 2. Master your priorities. Focus on what moves the needle.
The hard reality is, you really don't need more time. You just need significantly better priorities. Gary Keller illustrates this brilliantly in his book, The One Thing, with this incredibly powerful filtering question. He asks, what is the one thing that I can do that by doing it, everything else becomes easier or unnecessary? When you actually stop and ask yourself this, it completely forces you to stop multitasking. It forces you to just ignore juggling 10 mediocre, totally low-impact tasks and zero in on the exact thing that actually drives real results.
So this is essentially the psychological Pareto principle in action. You might know it as the 80-20 rule. Basically, 80% of your results are going to come from just 20% of your efforts. If you can consistently identify your personal one thing and just make the time for it, your productivity is absolutely going to skyrocket. This is actually the exact same strategy that legendary author Stephen King uses. I mean, his goal is to write best-selling novels, right? So his absolute non-negotiable one thing is just sitting down to write every single day.
So I really want to challenge you right now. Grab a notepad, pause if you need to, and honestly answer this for yourself. What is your one thing? Dig deep, find that single task that truly moves the needle for your ambition, and write it down.
Section 3. Defending your time. The art of blocking and eliminating.
Now, once you actually know what your one thing is, you have to relentlessly defend your time to do it. And that means absolutely no more jumping between tasks. A super crucial point to understand here is that task switching can reduce your overall productivity by up to 40%. According to the American Psychological Association, when you bounce from, say, an email to a quick text and then back to a creative project, your brain needs serious time to constantly reorient itself. You are quite literally bleeding efficiency every single time you switch gears.
To completely eliminate that massive 40% loss, you've got to start using time blocking. This is all about treating your time like absolute gold by carving out highly dedicated, protected slots for specific activities. Just think about how a highly effective schedule looks. You might have a block for the morning routine, a dedicated 90 minutes for creative work before the day even gets crazy, a solid block for the standard workday, and then completely protected time for family, workouts, and that side project. When you ring-fence your hours like this, your focus is entirely protected.
And to really protect those time blocks, we can pull a fantastic concept from Tim Ferriss, the author of The 4-Hour Workweek. Look, everyone has a to-do list, right? And it's usually endless, anxiety-inducing, and just overwhelming. But what you really need? Actually, scratch that. What you absolutely must have is a not-to-do list. This is about deliberately identifying and just avoiding those energy-draining habits. Things like checking social media during your deep work block, or feeling the need to instantly reply to every single notification, or just saying yes to every random meeting invite. When you write these down and actively avoid them, it's not just about productivity anymore. It's about reclaiming your total freedom.
Section 4. The art of starting. Beating procrastination. Let's be real. Sometimes the absolute hardest part of managing your time is simply getting started. We've all been there, right? Feeling completely foolish after putting off a tiny 15-minute job for like 3 whole days. Well, this procrastination trap is brilliantly solved by David Allen. He's the productivity expert behind getting things done, with his insanely simple 2-minute rule. Step 1, ask yourself, can this be done in less than 2 minutes? Step 2, if yes, do it right now. Don't think, just do. It's an incredible way to instantly build momentum and just clear out all those tiny, nagging tasks that completely clog up your mental bandwidth.
But, we can actually take this even further with a really cool concept called micro-starting. Let's say you want to go for a run. Don't think about the 5 miles. Just put on your running shoes. Want to write a chapter? Just open the document and literally type one single sentence. By doing this, you trigger something called the Zeigarnik effect. You're basically tricking your own brain into action because human psychology dictates that our brains desperately want to finish what they've already started. Once you take that tiny first step, momentum just naturally takes over.
Section 5. Energy outweighs time. You manage energy, not time.
Okay, this right here is the crucial pivot in this entire explainer. Having the perfect schedule, the most colorful time blocks, and a pristine not-to-do list, it means absolutely nothing if you don't have the fuel to execute it. Think about it. If you have 10 completely free hours sitting right ahead of you, but zero energy, you're not getting a single thing done. This is exactly why top performers, like former NFL star Tom Brady, prioritize strict energy rituals above literally all else. Brady incorporates highly strict sleep, hydration, stretching, and meditation into his daily life. Because he knows he isn't managing a clock on the wall. He's managing his physical and mental battery.
And the crazy thing is, science completely backs this up. If we look at the data based on a massive Stanford University study, it totally proves that productivity does not scale linearly. You actually get moderate output at 20 hours, you hit peak output at around 40 hours, but after 50 hours of work in a single week, output just drops completely off a cliff. Doing more work absolutely does not mean getting more done. You've got to work smarter during your specific high-energy windows. And that's true whether you're a 5 a.m. morning person or a total night owl. But to maximize those precious high-energy windows, you have to fiercely protect your focus from distractions. And the biggest culprit we all face, yep, your phone. The average person checks their phone a staggering 96 times a day. 96! That is literally once every 10 minutes. These apps are quite literally designed by engineers to hijack your focus, and your focus is your ultimate superpower. You got to turn off non-essential notifications, use Do Not Disturb, or honestly, if all else fails, just physically put your phone in a totally different room during your deep work blocks.
Section 6. Your actionable toolkit, bringing it all together.
Well, we have covered a tremendous amount of ground today, right? We've transitioned from shifting your core mindset all the way to some highly practical, everyday methodologies. So let's lock in your new unified system. This 6-step toolkit is your definitive guide to taking back control. Step 1, identify your daily non-negotiable one thing. Step 2, block your time out to actively organize those 24 hours. Step 3, eliminate the time wasters with a not-to-do list. Step 4, use the 2-minute rule and micro-starting to finally beat procrastination. Step 5, track your energy so you only do the hard work when you're at your absolute sharpest. And Step 6, protect your focus by killing distractions. This whole system proves that managing time isn't about doing more. It is about doing what matters most with unwavering consistency.
Remember, you really don't need more hours in the day. You just see drastically better habits. So, I'm going to leave you with this provocative thought to chew on as we wrap up. You have a brand new, totally blank 24 hours waiting for you tomorrow, the exact same amount as the most successful people on Earth. So, how are you going to use them?